Hey YouTube, Mochismo Eugene, another video from Exit Strategy. Just got back from a scooter ride and it was fun. Today I want to talk about 3 things, among many others, that a narcissist will say as you're beginning to get to know them. Let's say in the dating stage, or to get the getting to know each other stage. Where you're exchanging verbal conversation. I'm going to give you 3 things that you must pay attention to, 3 statements that they are known to make when you're engaging in conversations. This will let you know, not without a shadow of a doubt, but it will probably let you know that there's a fair to strong chance that you are dealing with a narcissist. And number 1 would be, if you're engaged in a conversation with them, they're trying to pick you apart. You know that. They're trying to analyze you. They're trying to read you. They're trying to see what your tolerance is. Some call it heat checking you, temperature checking you. This is a word in narcissistic survivors forums. We hear this. And so the first statement would be, if you're engaged in a conversation, they would say something to you like, you sure do sound, you sound spicy tonight, or you sound angry tonight. They'll tell you you sound angry when you're probably just being very direct and matter of fact. This is what you sound like when you're awake. I don't know what we sounded like before, but we were very passive. But when you know what your purpose is in life and you're standing in your purpose, it's nothing short of a boundary. You know your conversation is what it is. And for someone who doesn't know you, they'll come out the gate off top by temperature checking you with little comments like, you sound angry, you sound like you're upset. They'll be just as calm as a cucumber when they ask you this. And we'll take my personality for example. I may not be as strong in my conversation as I am right now, but if I'm deliberate that in my conversation, meaning I'm very secure and assured of what I'm saying, I'm confident, I'm not deceptive. So this is how it sounds to a narcissist. You're too strong for them, and they need to see if there's a weakness. And this is what they do. They'll make a comment like, you sound angry, you sound upset. Now, that's number 1. Number 2 is they will ask you your zodiac sign. They will ask you when your birthday is. Now, a lot of you guys may say, man, I've asked people that. I'm just curious. I've asked guys that. I've asked girls that. Most often, this is a girl. A girl will ask you this. I've had tons of women ask me this when I was in the getting to know each other stage. And in times past, I might just tell them, inadvertently tell them. But many years have passed, and that is something I don't even discuss. You know, sometimes it'll come out organically, just in conversation. And even when you tell them your birthday, that's not enough. They will ask you, because they're lazy, they will ask you, well, what's your sign? As opposed to just Googling it or looking it up. They need to dissect you based on your astrology symbol or your astrology sign. Now, this may not be everyone. Some people are just curious. Some people have a belief system in zodiac signs, the stars, the moons, and different things like that. But that's not the conversation I'm having. We're talking expressly where it pertains to a narcissist. That is my primary aim here when I talk about anything. It's about the narcissist and their behavior and their character or uncharacter traits. Number 3, and this is one that I know a lot of us have heard and we understand this from a narcissist. We've heard this a million times, And this would be the statement of, do you have any family here? They'll ask you that before you even order off of the menu, because what they need to know is if you have a support system. And family support system. Me, I don't have any family here, but I have some people. I have a couple of rams in the bushes, people that I can rely on, and people that I can reach out to if I need to, them to lend their ear, or if I need some type of emotional support or financial support. I believe, that's not a guarantee there, but I just believe, and I think there's probably two people I can rely on. I could call them at the drop of a dime, and because they know I would never ask them for anything unless I truly needed it. And this would be on a loan borrow basis, which I don't condone borrowing and loaning money. But if I loan or borrow money from these individuals, they know that it's not a desperate situation, but it's just an immediate need to get over the hump, and they'll get it back probably in less than a week, 3 days to a week. And so those are the three things that you can almost guarantee that a narcissist will talk about in initial stages of getting to know one another. Now, some of you all may have asked one of or all of these things in conversation in the getting to know each other stage. Well, if you're not a narcissist, you then have to ask yourself, how did I come about this line of questioning? And most often it's because we're in a matrix. We normally do what we see other people do. When you're out of that matrix, man, then it comes down to a choice. You're going to have to reinvent yourself, and organically, right? You can't force yourself to reinvent yourself. It has to be organic. You have to sort of like pull away from the things that you were most commonly used to doing. And how you pull away from them gradually, you have to ask yourself, have a conversation with yourself and say, am I doing this? Is this something that I've always been a fan of, or is this something that I just say because I hear other people say it? And eventually, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see that those things that you used to say and do, and how you act, and the decision making that you had before, you don't decide and make decisions like that. Because had it been your way, you would just have not decided that way or made that decision. And as you're awakening and as you're evolving out of this matrix, you will see that your life is so easy. Your life is just so no frills. All the baggage that you thought you had in your life, you will realize that you were carrying other people's baggage. So just remember those 3 things. And in the initial stages of getting to know a person, if they say or ask you one of these 3 things, obviously that doesn't automatically mean that they're narcissists. There is a dynamic to this thing, and that's what one must always remember. There's a dynamic to this thing. There are a couple of components, and once these components are all merging together collectively, this is how you do your assessment. We can't go on what we call surface stuff. We have to kind of observe and collectively observe and draw off all the data, the behavior, the dismissiveness, the lack of accountability, the grandiose, the self-centeredness, the ego. Everything's on them. The backhanded insults that they give you. Pay attention to this, how they mirror you. And there's a lot of other things that you, as an empath, an awakened empath, No. And if you're studying these videos and you're listening to us, it will become second nature. And if they're just like I always say, if they if they have one or two of the sign, I'm pretty much gonna probably pass. And most often, and if you see one of these traits, that trait will be consistent all the way across the board. It won't be just like a hit and miss thing. They will prove to you that this is a disorder in this characteristic, and they cannot not be this way. That being said, bless.